Hey, I'm Dale Tintin, and this is my trusty companion Snowy, and today we're talking about my full indoor bike simulator. So we're going to talk about my TACX NEO 2. Also we're going to talk about the Wahoo fan, which is absolutely amazing. You can set it to different fan speeds. You can also set it to the amount of speed, so the faster you go the fan picks up, but I'm not a real fan of that because when you're climbing a hill, it's not when you need the fan to work, because you're going at a slow speed, the fan actually will blow quite soft. So in different instances, the setting it to the speed of your app doesn't seem to work very well. I found it best on the heart rate. So you can actually flick the switch to heart rate, and that really works really well. So you get up to 140, 150, the fan picks up and increases as the higher the heart rate, and really works extremely well. Works really well up and down hills. So very happy with the kicker headwind from Wahoo. Also going to talk about the rollers, or the Neo motion rollers. Also we're going to talk about the Sturzo steering. So, and we're going to just quickly go into a little bit with our plates that the front wheel sits in. So I was introduced to a Zwift about 10 years ago at a friend's place, and back then I thought it was the bee's knees. I had my old Flymo, got out of the garage and hooked up the speed sensor, crank sensor on the bike, and downloaded the Zwift app, and was just rolling around. But of course, not having that true simulation, I didn't really feel like I was in the game. So pretty much 5 years ago now, I purchased the TACX NEO machine, and oh wow, it's a ripper. So I've looked at many machines, tried all different machines, but of course the two main best simulators is of course the Wahoo and the TACX NEO. TACX NEO 2, you don't need any power to operate the machine, so you can take it with you anywhere, hook your bike on it, and you can just ride stationary anywhere. It is a little bit heavy, isn't it, Snowy? But at least you can move it around. It's not a solid mounted industrial indoor bike trainer, so it can be taken anywhere. Also, when you push harder on it with no power, it still lights up, gives you a nice blue to a purple light underneath the machine. So I love that feature. The other feature I really enjoy is that the TACX NEO also gives you real live feel on the road, which no other machine at the moment still does. I think that's due to all the magnetics in the TACX machine. So if I'm riding cobblestones, it will go gudunk, 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 gudunk. And if I'm going across timber deckings and stuff, it will go gudunk, 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 gudunk. So also simulates gravel, so you can really feel the roughness through the cranks. So basically what I really wanted was something that is going to give me a full road feel indoors. I've been riding indoor solid mounted industrial bikes for 30 plus years, going to different gyms, doing RPM classes, all that sort of stuff. Don't get me wrong, love it. I love all types of fitness. But for me to spend money on an indoor bike simulator, it has to give me 100% road feel. So now also with Garmin coming on board, and of course they're making the Neo motion plates, big heads up there. So it's just made the ride even more and more enjoyable. And now of course Zwift has gone in with sterzos and brought out the steering. So now we can also use the steering on the roads that we ride in Zwift, and it's actually really good. The steering on the sterzo is really good in the fact that, because when you're riding, you don't always turn the handlebars like this. You're really just leaning the bike into the corners. So, and the sterzo, you turn the steering, but it's only, you don't have to turn it much for it to start moving, which I really enjoy about that. So otherwise having to turn the wheel, the cockpit bars, too far doesn't give you the real simulation that I'm looking for. So now I've got every full simulation I can get out of the TACX NEO with all the road feels through all the crank pedals. I got the motions backwards and forwards, and now I've also got the steering. The only thing that is left with the TACX machine is to be able to ride on inclines. So I rode and tried the Wahoo kicker climb a couple of years ago, and the only thing that I didn't really 100% feel comfortable on was because the bike actually felt unstable, especially when you're trying to pull 1,000 watts, standing up, cranking really hard. I just didn't really feel it very stable and strong enough. I didn't feel comfortable with that. And what I really want is to actually have an incline that is attached to the whole bike, so that the whole bike gives you the whole feel. I think because just lifting the front up, I really want to feel the full road feel as much as I can. So if I'm climbing gradients of 18 plus gradient hill climbs, it would feel a lot better if I could feel the whole bike moving. And I think now the Wahoo machine, of course, has now brought out the Wahoo bike I'm looking for. But it still doesn't give you the full road feel like the TACX does. So we've really only got two things left, which I would love to see happen. And with the VR set, I think that would be the last thing they would also need to do to give me the final road feel simulation. So what we're going to do is we're going to we'll do a test with all the different blocks and see how it feels with the motion rollers on there. So what do you reckon, Snowy? I think we ought to get into this and do some little demonstrations for everybody. I'm just going to quickly also, I might just quickly get one of my other spare wheels out. This one here's gone flat. So I need the tyre pressure up working perfectly fine so that we can get a correct demonstration on all these different blocks and for the sterzo steering. Okay, so we're going to do a demonstration. We've got, as you can see, we've got our TACX NEO motion plates. Woo! What we're going to do is we're going to hold it straight up. We're not using a plate on the bottom at the moment. We're going to pull it all the way forward, and we're going to count and see how many we get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So what we'll do now is we're going to hook up, we'll put in the original chock that comes with the TACX, which is the standard chock for its wheel, and we'll just pull that forward and we'll count how many on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe 12. Now the reason for that is because it's not flat, it's actually concaved, so it's actually stopping the motion from moving so far. Now we've got the flat motion, so we'll just, this is the one that comes with the NEO plates. We'll just set it up where it's meant to be. There we go. Go forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we've got 19 to 20 with the Neo motion plates, which it comes with. So we've pretty well got 19 to 20 rocks, which I'd expect because the plate is dead flat. Now we're going to use the Elite Sterzo. Now this one's got a bit of a curve in it. So, because obviously this was not designed for the motion plates. Just going to set this up so that we okay. So, do you think we'll get anywhere near 19 or 20? We'll push it all the way back, forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I nearly scratched the 13. So guys, we can clearly see that of course the TACX with the motion roller of course is definitely perfect because it's quite wide, so you can actually run like a gravel tyre, which is wide enough possibly for a gravel tyre in there as well if you want to use your gravel bike on the machine. But it's very smooth and it's plastic. I think why this one came out ahead slightly more than just on the plain surface is because this mat is really squishy and it's very soft. So I don't think that's why it wasn't getting that full. So we just lost a couple of rocks out of it. So that's probably why that I would have thought that would have been got the same number as this, but I think it's because the mat is a lot softer. This is quite smooth, hard plastic, gives it an even feel. So anyway, I think what we're going to do now is we'll just quickly log into Swift and we will do a small demonstration on the steering. Okay, so this is a non-ride day today, so I figured this would be the perfect chance just to do a quick show of the steering. So we're going to do Titan's Grove, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the steering wheel so that you can see the wheel. So you can see my front wheel. So when we're going to cross over roads, we're going to go to the left and the right. You'll get sort of an idea of how far I'm actually turning the steering. So let's get on. Okay, so off we go. Now if I leave the steering in the straight ahead position, the bike will always follow that line pretty much. So I'm going to turn the steering to the left and we're going to come across to the middle slowly. Now once I'm in the middle, I can release the steering back to the standard straight ahead position and it will now hold me on that line, which is okay. I think it's alright at this stage. So we'll come across now to the right, into the right hand corner. Back to the right. Just climb the hill at 4% gradient. Downhill. Right, so we'll move slowly to the left. 4% gradient, 5%, 6%, 7%. Come back across to the right. Just get up over this rise. Okay. There we go. We'll just get a little bit of speed up. Now we'll just wait for upper left hand corner. We'll just turn the wheel a little bit across to the left side. And we're just going to see if I can show you. Make our way slowly across. That's it. Now if I stay here, I can leave the steering straight. There we go. So if I leave the steering in the straight ahead position, it will hold my line. Slightly with the steering, the right hand side. So you can see the steering, you don't have to turn it a real lot, you don't have to go like this. Should do a section on bloopers. Okay. So if I leave the steering in the straight ahead position, it'll always follow where I am, unless I'm in the middle of the road. So I'm just going to turn the steering, try and hold the centre of the road, and then I can go to the right, to the left. So as you can see, it does steer pretty good. So there we have it, guys. There's the steering. Come across, come back. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. Hey, so just a quick recap while I got Snowy here still asleep. The TACX NEO 2 with the motion rollers and the steering, I never felt uncomfortable when I very first started using the rollers. Hopped on it, started riding, and it was just a joy to ride. So to get my real bike feel simulation, I've pretty well got that. I mean, you have to understand that the motion rollers are not going to be 100% accurate to road feel, but you know, it's pretty close, and makes the simulation more enjoyable. So by having these extra benefits into the machine, especially with the road feel, the machine giving me cobblestone feel, gives me a different feel for timber deckings, different feel for off-road mountain bike, gravel riding, is just fantastic. So it is a joy to ride. I'm happy to ride indoors or outdoors. So I hope this has been a bit of an insight. This is my machine all set up. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope I've given you a bit of an insight. The TACX NEO 2, which I haven't mentioned, is that in the actual machine, down the bottom of the machine in the framework, it's actually built in flexibility. So even without the rollers, without everything, just riding the machine itself, as soon as you take off, you stand up on the bike, you do some sprints, you do some climbs up and down the mountains, you will also feel the flexibility in the machine as if you're riding outdoors, the way the bike moves left and right. So it really is a beautiful, solid machine, very accurate machine. It's Wahoo and TACX are pretty well the two best machines for accuracy. There are a lot of machines finally starting to come out on the market, and which is really good to see. Different price ranges, suits different people's budgets. But yeah, this is definitely one to look out for. So if this is what you're looking for, don't just go by me with my gospel of what I say. Go to the bike shops, check them all out, ride them. They're very happy. Everyone will be happy for you to test ride them. They'll have the apps already set up, so you can actually hop on, feel the different simulations, the different feels that the bikes get. And also with all these new solid mounted, more industrial bikes that are coming out, they will be coming out with electric switches and stuff on the STI levers. So if you do want to turn left and right, because a lot of these machines aren't capable of having the steering, they're going to be introducing all that stuff down the track. There'll be electric switches on the side, so you'll be able to turn left or right just by clicking and pressing the little digital buttons on the levers. So there's so much more to see. I can't wait for technology to come through, and I hope everybody's enjoyed this video. So thank you very much everyone for watching, and take care, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share down below and hit those notifications, and we will see you all next time. What's that, Snowy? I can't hear you. What'd you say? What's that? What's that, Snowy? I can't hear you, buddy.